Hi, and welcome along to DR Sports. This is game day preview for the big games coming up this weekend. Now, we could have went anywhere in the world, any ground, Nicky. Yeah? I thought we covered it here, bro.
I thought you chose this one, yeah.
So listen, let's get into it. So Nicky, first game we're going to look at is a game that we're going to be covering on DR Sports as well. It's Manchester City versus Tottenham Hotspur, right? And this is a big game for, Spurs, I think, more than Man City. Were really impressive during the week, had a easy win, 5-0 in the Champions League. But Spurs, you know, 2 defeats in their last games, and they really need this. And if I look through some of the stats, Man City has lost just 1 of their last 11 league games against Tottenham. They've won 8 and drawn 2. Going down 2-1 in February 2016. I remember that game. They did actually play well in that game, Spurs. And since losing 2-0 at home to Crystal Palace in October, Man City have earned 43 points from 45 available. It's madness in the Premier League. They've won 14, drawn 1, lost none. They should have lost there, by the way. Still angry about that. With the only exception being the 1-1 draw against Southampton last month. They're a machine, aren't they?
They are, mate. They are. They're phenomenal. They've always been phenomenal under Pep. I can't see them dropping any more points, to be quite honest with you. They've maybe dropped 1 or 2.
I've been a bit of a bogey team for them, though. A little bit, you know what I mean?
Listen, I watched them last week, mate. They ain't going to be nobody's bogey team if they start defending like that. No chance at all.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? The thing is about it as well, which has been the surprising thing, is you thought Antonio Conte coming in there, he'd shore up the defence, but the defence has been the Achilles heel, isn't it? It's been shocking.
I'll tell you, mate, last week I watched that Wolves game. It was comical. It was comical. To be fair, Wolves could have scored 6. If they'd have pressed harder, they could have scored 6. They was awful, Spurs. They was terrible. They've got some good players. I like Bergwijn. The new guy's really quick. Kulowski, is it? Kulusevski.
And they've got Bentancur they brought in, but...
Yeah, so they've got a bit of pace up front. Harry Kane still ain't firing. They've got Sonny back. But the defence, for me, they're not going to win any games. And to be fair, Robbie, Conte looks broken. He looks broken already. He's like he's saying some strange things. It's like he's giving hints already that he's just given up and this season's a write-off. So I'm not having them getting nothing here.
Okay, what about the other game we're gonna West Ham, your boys, versus Newcastle, a resurgent Newcastle, a much better Newcastle than we've seen all season. They had a good win last week, and reading through some of the stats, Nicky. Don't bode that great for West Ham. Against no side of Newcastle won more Premier League away games than they have against West Ham. They've won 10 away games against West Ham.
I'll tell you as well, the stats at the London Stadium are not great either. We haven't beaten them a lot. They've beaten us quite a bit, Newcastle, at home. They seem to enjoy playing at the London Stadium for some reason. St Maxim always gives us a run around when we're playing them. He's a good player. This is going to be a tough game, Rob, and we're not, to be fair, we're not playing that well. We're not playing as well as we have been. So this is going to be a tough one, but Trippier is out. He's going to be out. He's out for 6 weeks.
That's a big blow for them. He scored a great free kick last week.
He's been a match winner in the last 2.
He has. And another stat here, since Davies Moyes returned to West Ham, only Liverpool, 27, have scored more Premier League goals from corners than West Ham. This season alone, only Liverpool, 11, have scored more such goals than West Ham. You scored 9 goals from corners, including the handball last week.
It wasn't handball, but yeah, we're decent at set pieces.
What? Now, come on.
No, I'm sorry. No, not for me. It was on his sleeve. It's open to interpretation. They keep on changing this silly rule. Just have it at the elbow, Robbie, like it used to be. It's sleeve. What happens if I wore a long sleeve shirt? What's it down there then?
I'm sorry, for me that was handball.
You'll start to see people coming out in them pantomime shirts. You know the ones that cover their
I looked at Dawson's face. You could see in his face, right, that he knew he got away with one. He didn't even. You watch how he celebrates. He runs round. He sort of says, "Let me run round the back of the goal in case he changes his mind."
But
well, listen, it was a good point in the end.
They're always expecting nonsense, to be honest with you. That's what it is with the VAR and that. You never know, do you? It's open to interpretation. But yeah, it was a good point in the end.
Big game for you guys because you don't want to drop points in that race to get into the top 4. And a massive game for Newcastle as well. This is the time of the season now. No teams can afford to drop points. Newcastle still in a relegation fight. They're giving themselves a chance, but they've got to get a win out of this. As I said, Nicky, we're at the home of football, the Emirates Stadium. And the next game we're going to look at is Arsenal versus Brentford. Now, Nicky, I've still got scars, mate, of when we played them. First game of the season, first Premier League game of the season. I remember it was on a Friday night. All attention turned to it, and they turned us over. They were brilliant that night, Brentford, beat us by 2-0, and they made us look like a championship team that night. But people at that time were talking about Arsenal getting relegated and how great Brentford are. The tables are turned a bit. Arsenal got a chance of getting into the top 4, had a really good win last time out against Wolverhampton Wanderers away from home. And Brentford, they've fallen off a cliff. No win in their last 6 games.
Yeah.
I mean, terrible.
They started out of, you do get that with, especially when the first game Friday night, everyone, the old world's eyes are on you, the first game of the Premier League. They started well, Brentford. They really did start well, but they're a different side now, and Arsenal are a different side now, I believe. They've been quite poor. I'll tell you, they could be dragged into trouble, Brentford, if they're not careful,
Yeah.
So, Newcastle are on the up. I think Everton could be on the up now. Leeds need to start picking up some points, but there's a few teams down there giving a bit of a fight, and Brentford seem to be the ones that are losing week in, week out.
Brentford, they've lost their last 4 away league games. Last suffering a longer losing run than this. On the road, that was February 2011. That was their last run as bad as that.
Yeah.
Obviously, they weren't in the Premier League at that time, but it's a horrible run for them. They need to turn it around. But I think they're going to find an Arsenal team that's really driven, really motivated, and having a great shout of getting into the top 4 alongside your boys.
I've backed Arsenal to be in the top 4 at the end of the season. They're the most consistent for me. I don't think we're consistent enough.
I don't know.
That's
not a word that gets used around here a lot, but hopefully.
But I can see more of a consistency this season from Arsenal.
Yeah.
You look at the results at our place; they've been up and down. The one that convinced me was the Wolves game for Arsenal.
Yeah, that was a good win.
Winning that with 10 men, and then seeing the way they dominated at Arsenal last week. Yeah. That is a good win.
Tottenham last week,
a very good win.
Yeah.
Arsenal win this one quite comfortably.
Okay, the other game that's going to be really interesting is a London derby, which is going to be taking place at Crystal Palace over there in South London. Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. Now, none of the last 21 Premier League meetings between Crystal Palace and Chelsea have finished level. There's always an outcome. With Crystal Palace winning 4 to Chelsea 17. Chelsea will be the favourites to win this, but we know that Palace can give anybody a game. I mean, they were brilliant. I remember when they came here to the Emirates. They turned over Man City this season away from home. On any given day, they're a quality team.
They're a funny team, aren't they? Because they can give people a game. Palace, you see them. Sometimes they go to Liverpool, give them a game. They go to Chelsea, give them a game. They go to Arsenal. Chelsea they're a funny team as well.
They are a funny team, but World Club champions. They won that the other day. Yeah, last weekend.
They're the best. They're the worst of the best, aren't they? At the minute. That's what I would say. But I can't see it's past the Chelsea winning.
Yeah.
I just don't think that Palace get into the territory now where they haven't really got anything to play for. Do you know what I mean? So you're getting into that point of the season where this is where the bottom teams start to become more robust. The top teams start to sort of in and out of form because they're getting a bit nervous, and the middle teams just like, well, it is what it is. So it's a funny part of the season now. We're getting towards sort of the last quarter of it. So Chelsea are going to win this one, I think, quite comfortably. 2-0 for me.
Next game we're going to look at, Nicky, is a massive game for Leeds fans, probably more than Man United fans. But Leeds versus Man United is kind of it's one of those games that's like a derby, but it's not a derby, if you get my meaning.
They don't like each other.
They hate each other, and it sort of goes way back.
Yeah.
It's a traditional rivalry. Obviously, Leeds has been a long time since they've been able to get the best, or the better of, should I say, of Man United. Leeds have won just one of their last 16 Premier League games against Man United. They've drawn 4, lost 10. Sorry, drawn 5, lost 10, beating them 1-0 at Ellen Road in September 2002. Of course, they were out of the Premier League for a very long time, but even since they've been back, I mean, United have been battering them. Every Leeds fan will want them to do the business in this game. It's probably the game they want to win the most in the Premier League, but can they?
They need points, Robbie. They need points.
They're getting drawn into this relegation fight.
Yeah, they are. They, you know, there seems to be the team where they're rocking up. I thought they would beat Everton last week, but they just rolled over. They was bad. They need points.
You don't know what Leeds is going to turn up though, do you?
This is it. I'm not. I've been saying this for a while. I'm not too convinced on the manager. I think he's too one-dimensional. I don't think he's got a plan B.
Yeah.
And I think people have worked him out, and I think that's why they find themselves in a lot of trouble this season. But I'm not convinced of Man United either, to be quite honest with you. I know they've
got the firepower though.
They have got the firepower.
Again, in their win during the week against Brighton, not convincing in the first half really, but they got the firepower. They got Ronaldo. They got
and he started to score again.
Bruno Fernandes. These type of guys that will get. That's why, to me, I still make them the favourites for the top 4 because they've got those players that can get them across the line.
I'm not convinced with them. I'm not convinced with United. I really ain't. I think they blow too hot and cold for me. You know, there's a lot of problems there, Rob. You can tell there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of what's the word? Rivalry, I think, in the changing rooms. Some people want to do it one way. Some people want to do it another way. And there's a lot of bashing heads there, I think. And I think they'll win this one. I think they'll win it marginally, but I'm still not convinced.
Yeah, I don't know with Leeds, man. I mean, you know when you go to games, right? Like sometimes we'll be at the Emirates here, and the fans will be singing attack, 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 attack.
Yeah.
I get the feeling at Ellen Road they'll be singing defend, defend,
defend. Yeah,
they never defend.
They don't see it, man.
Yeah, I can't see it either. I've got to go for a United win. Of course, United under pressure. 2 teams again under pressure. United to keep up the top 4 race. They're in the top 4 at the moment, so they're in the position. They've got to win this. And then obviously Leeds, they're getting sucked into this relegation battle. They need a win or at least a point out of this one. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight.
I hope Leeds do it.
You hope Leeds do it?
Yeah, well, we've got to, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a United 2-0 win. Let me just recap over some of those games before we go into the last one. So, City versus Spurs. You went for what did
City
you go
win.
for? City win by how much?
3-0.
3-0. I'll go 2-0 in that one. West Ham versus Newcastle.
I've got to go with my heart. 2-1.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with you on that one. I can't see Newcastle, especially missing out with Trippier. It's their defence again. Going forward, so Maximan, all these players great, but they can't defend. Yeah. And I think you guys are resilient. I'll go 2-1 to you lot. Palace versus Chelsea. I'm going to go for a draw in this game.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to go for a draw. I don't know what it is about it. I've just had this feeling that Palace are going to nick a draw in this game.
Okay. I'm going to go for a 3-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea. And Leeds, what did you say?
1-0.
1-0 to United?
United, yeah.
I think it'd be more than 1-0. I think like 3-1. 3-1 to Man United in this game. Some of the other games going on, Liverpool versus Norwich. Liverpool are playing really well. Liverpool's squad at the moment is unreal.
Yeah.
You know, we used to say,
he's a player, that new guy.
That new guy they brought in. Their squad isn't looking really good, and I can't see nothing apart from. I mean, they were impressive in the Champions League, going away and beating Inter Milan 2-0. I think that'd be like a 4-0.
All the big boys are back. I'll say 5.
5-0. Liverpool 5, Norwich 0.
I don't relish Norwich at the minute. You know, but we've got to go there next week. So, but 5-0. I'd say.
Midlands derby, the next one. Wolves versus Leicester. Wolves, of course, great win at Tottenham last week. Leicester, you saw them last week playing against you guys. Hot and cold, weren't they? One minute they're playing well, but they're shocking from set pieces, aren't they?
Yeah, they can't defend set pieces, as you see last week. Really good. I think Harvey Barnes is a really good player.
Yeah.
But defensively, I don't know what's happened to them. I really don't. They're hot and cold. I see Wolves winning this one, to be honest. Yeah, I see Wolves winning this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've got to go Wolves. I'll go 1-0. 1-0 Wolves.
No, do you know what? I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1?
1-1 draw. Yeah.
All right. Southampton versus Everton. Southampton been playing some good stuff. Everton, another team getting sucked in. I know they've had, a win last week under Lampard, but they've got to keep winning. And Southampton, they've been playing well recently.
I think this is the toughest one to call this week because both teams are going to be on high. They've gone away to us, beat us. They've gone away to Tottenham, beat Tottenham. Then gone to United and got a draw. They're going to be buzzing. But Everton have been so bad that win last week is going to raise the spirits. And obviously, new manager and all that. This is a very, very tough one. So again, I'm going to plump for a draw in this one.
Do you know what? I was going to go for a Southampton win, but I find sometimes with teams like Southampton, when they're flying under the radar,
that's when
they'll get their wins and they look great. But the radar has been raised now. I mean, everyone knows what they've been doing over there. They're on the radar now. So I get a feeling that Everton might nick this one. I'm going to go for Everton winning this 2-1.
Yeah, I can't see Everton losing, so I'm going to say 2-2.
Brighton versus Burnley.
I wouldn't want to watch this one. If I'm honest with you, this is going to be the most boring game.
Brighton play great football. They're attacking football.
Yeah,
Burnley need to start winning. You know what I mean? It's all right going and parking the bus. I mean, this could be the season when Burnley go.
I think so.
I mean,
although they've given themselves a bit of a chance with Weghorst.
They keep drawing though.
That's the thing.
They need wins now. This is a game that they must be earmarking and saying we need to go away and get 3 points. If otherwise another point won't be good enough.
They're a funny team, Burnley. They haven't picked up a lot of points, but they're very resilient. They come here and drew. They drew with us at home. They're
they need wins.
They need wins. I'm going to back them this week to win.
Yeah.
I'm going to back them to beat Brighton 1-0.
I think it's got a draw written all over it. 1-1.
They drew a lot of games, Brighton.
Yeah. Final game: Aston Villa versus another team that they've surely got to win to have any chance of staying up now, and that's Watford. They've got it, though.
Yeah, not good enough. Just ain't got enough in them. I don't know what
Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, I don't know what they was thinking.
How many more managers have he picked?
But this is the thing, though, Rob. When you get a club change manager, you normally get that new manager bounce. But I think
you were never going to get that.
You got No, but you've got a revolving door at Watford. That effect's gone. They change a manager every other month. It seems it's quite ridiculous the way they run the club. To be quite honest with you, if I was a fan, I'd be upset. And I think this is going to end up biting them in the bum this year. I think they're going to end up going. Well, Hodgson's not going to do nothing. I don't know where they picked him out from. I thought he was retired, but he's gone there for one last payday. He knows he's going to be on his way sooner or later. Watford are not winning this game. They was very, very poor. Every week I see them, they're poor.
Defend, not scoring as well now. I think 3-0 Villa.
Yeah, I agree. They've been a funny team, Villa. They've been playing really well, but not picking up the points. So but I'm going to say this week they do pick up the points.
I just had a thought, Nicky. Right, as we stand there in the wind's blowing really heavy.
It could affect things, yeah.
Yeah, weather for this weekend, various different places around the country, the weather might not be that clever, it might be high winds and that. Could that maybe affect the football? You never know. We might get a few strange looking results this week, hopefully not here at the Emirates. Because
this is where it can trip up the big teams, though.
Yeah. It does have an effect when you get like high wind, horrible conditions, but we'll see. Listen, what are your predictions? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget you can check out our watch-alongs that we're going to be having. We're going to have the City game versus Spurs. We've also got Manchester United going to take on Leeds. And do not forget to check out the Saturday football show. That is brilliant, where we keep you up to date with all the scores as they happen throughout the day on Saturday. So make sure you check that out. And one last thing, we've got a good boxing watch-along to the Amir Khan versus Kell Brook fight. Who's winning that? Brook?
I think Brook.
I'm going Khan, actually.
I know nothing about boxing, Robbie. I've just picked. It's a 50-50, that was it.
You don't know nothing about football either, I'm only joking. We'll see you next week.